We are as similar as everyone and we are as different as everyone. Paradoxical it may sound, but it is true. When it comes to the needs, we are similar, and when it comes to perceptions, we are different. Everyone sees the world differently. For some, it is a gym, for some, it is a garden. The different perception can cause us to see things differently, and which causes us to work differently. When we meet with someone who has different ways of working, we meet with arguments. If not handled properly, the argument can lead us to hostility. If we think that my way is the only way, this is where we lose appreciation and respect for the person. This is where we stop thinking good about the person. In the practical world, you may say that arguments could happen. And in this practical world only, we can replace arguments with communication. Here are two ways to deal with arguments successfully. First, stop blaming the person. Sometimes we judge people. Sometimes we do not deal with our own insecurities. Sometimes we have misconceptions about people we are dealing with. These things can cause us misunderstandings. This misunderstanding can cause us to disapprove people. In the book called Words Can Change Your Brain, authors gave us 12 ways of compassionate communication. In this book, the first few ways are only about thinking positively about communication, thinking that the person will respond positively, thinking that you will resolve the conflict. You may say that where positive thinking comes in the arguments. It does come because when you're thinking bad about the person in the argument, blaming them inside, it will get reflected in your tone of voice. It will get reflected in your gestures. As you know, that non-verbal communication has more impact than verbal communication. And because of blaming, both parties might turn angry. An argument may not be resolved. If you stop blaming the person, and in spite of blaming, if you focus on some good qualities of the person, now in that spur of the moment, we may not think that the person we are dealing with is having some good qualities. But you have to remind yourself that even the worst person has some good qualities. So if you focus on some good qualities of the person you're arguing with, congratulations, you have almost turned the argument into communication. Second point, which is showing appreciation and respect. Here, appreciation means having a full understanding of a situation. A sheer understanding of different perceptions can help you resolve conflict. People who argue, they do not listen only. Lack of listening means thinking that my way is the only way. What happens because of this level of thinking? This level of thinking doesn't allow us to put ourselves in the people's shoes and see what could happen when we listen. There is one instance when parents see their son is not getting good grades in college, and in spite of blaming him for his bad grades, parents decided to follow the way of compassionate communication, and they communicated with their son compassionately. They said, "You do not have to feel bad about your grades. Is there anything which is causing you to not study? We would like to know from your side if we could do something to improve your grades." And they asked their son, and in this compassionate communication, parents realized that their son wants to change very stream of education. His interests were different, and when he went out to follow his own interests, he became massively successful. Here, if parents wouldn't have communicated compassionately, their son would not have been successful in his career. In this example, parents understood the situation. In the same way, if you understand and acknowledge the person, your gateways of peace are open. With open gateways of peace, you see the sight of respect. And you see, respect is required. Respect is required when we discuss differences. And respect can resolve conflict. If you respect her point of view, she will respect yours. If you are confirming to change few things as per her point of view, you will exchange information. The more information you have about the problem, the different ways of solutions you see. And with the friendly exchange of information, by getting agreed upon few things, the person will also be agree upon your things. After all, rarely someone argues for the sake of arguing. We argue more when we don't see a solution. And if we are discussing both for a common solution, your arguments will be converted into communication. And this is how you handle arguments successfully. Thanks for watching.